Hello lovely people, how are we? So a thing that I really hate is that when you're 18 or roughly this age, you have to decide what career you want for the rest of your life. And that sounds absolutely ridiculous to me. Why would you know what you want to do for the rest of your life when you're 18? So the first thing that I want to say is when you're trying to choose a career, don't think that this career is set in stone and you have to stick to this career. Alright, so now that that's out of the way, this is simply a video to help you make a better informed decision on what career might fit you or what is your calling. It won't answer it perfectly, but it might give you a bit more insight as to what it is you want to do with your life. Now, all I'm going to do is just literally and very simply ask you prompts, and I just want you to answer them in your head or write them down. Now, here's some ground rules. Whatever you do, don't limit yourself to what you write or what you think. Let your imagination be whatever it wants to be. If you want to be a professional nail cutter, then write it down. If you want to invent the next Tesla, then write it down. Let your imagination be a place where you don't have the restrictions of reality or society. Alright, so the first question I want you to answer is, what are you passionate about? What can you talk about for hours and hours and not get tired of it? What do you spend most of your days, your weeks, your months doing? What is it that you like to do? Just write a list of all the things that you're interested in, that you like doing, that bring you happiness, and when you do them, you feel enriched. It doesn't have to be complicated, it's just simply a list of all the different things that you like to do. So for example, you could write things like, I like to work on cars, I like writing, I like watching movies, I like talking to people, I like playing video games, I like learning about history. Just all these different things. Whatever it is you like to do, write it down and get as thorough and detailed as you want to get. Alright, number 2 question is, write down, how can you leave your mark on the world? How can you improve it? What is something that you feel is a problem in the world and that needs fixing? It could be something that you've personally been affected by. It could be something that you just feel very strongly about. But I want you to just think about what is a big problem that you see in life and society and something that you want to help improve towards or leave the earth better than it was when you came here. I'm making it sound like you're an alien. So for me, the answer to this question was, I feel like mental health is a big issue and I feel like I want to make a space where there's more support for it. All right, number 3, which career path would you choose if you were guaranteed to fail it? If someone handed you a letter and said, you're going to fail this job for the next 20 years, but you can only do it because you enjoy doing it. That's it. And the reason why I love this question is because it sort of removes all the end goal glory that a lot of people get into a career for. So for example, if you dream of becoming an astronaut and walking in space, that's the end vision. But you don't think of all the different years and years and years of shitty grinding, training, all this hard, arduous work that's going to be put into it. You don't think of all that. So the focus really becomes that on this hard part. All right, so if you want to be a drawer and you want to be earning millions of dollars making paintings and, you know, creating these beautiful visual stories, this question makes you fail at this job, meaning that you won't get paid millions, you won't be, you know, famous or whatever. All you'll do is just day-to-day drawing, and that's your livelihood. It makes you think about what career do you enjoy doing the little small monotonous tasks that build up towards something. So if you simply enjoy just creating a drawing or creating a little piece of something for something bigger. So for example, for me, I like making YouTube videos because I like the process that goes into creating a story or creating some value-giving video, and the little small things like editing videos is simply just getting a clip and cutting and then pasting, and that's it. But for some reason that's enjoyable to me, so I continue to do it. In med school, the big grand goal was to get a good score in the test or just simply to pass it, and the little tasks day to day were just studying, and I actually enjoyed studying it. So that's why I kept it up. Number 4, a weird one, I know, but I got it from somewhere and I thought it was an interesting thing. If you could live an infinite amount of times, and every time you died, you'd be reborn, and that would happen till infinity, what would you do with this lifetime? Your very first go, your very first try at life. What would be the most important thing that you would want to get done on the first go? Now, this question for me just helped me prioritize what are the things that are most urgently the ones that I want to work towards or build towards something. And so that helped me sort of have this lens of clarity and just filter through the things that were really important. And number 5, what's something you don't mind suffering for? Sounds really grim, I know. And I have mixed feelings about this. Because when you enjoy the little small monotonous tasks, you sort of forget that other people might find this thing as suffering or really hard or something that they just find there's a lot of resistance to. The same goes for when you start something that's difficult. At first, it will be very, very difficult and you'll require a lot of energy to get yourself to do this thing. So I remember when I was in high school, I was horrendous, like shocking at maths. And I would hate doing it. And I would have to use all this willpower and all this effort to push myself to do it. But then a few years later, when I was really working hard on it because I wanted to improve, I started to enjoy it. So the things that used to be really, really difficult for me became much, much easier to the point where I enjoyed it. And I'm gonna misquote from Atomic Habits. There was a section on how the author was watching Olympic swimmers at practice 5 or 4 a.m. in the morning, going through these rigorous drills and, physically pushing their endurance. And it sounds like, when you think about it, getting into this cold water and pushing yourself as hard as you can, something that sounds unpleasant or something that sounds really hard. He went on to say how everyone there loved it, everyone there enjoyed it. Whatever they told themselves in that story was that they enjoyed this experience. They enjoyed the hard work. They enjoyed that they were up at 4 a.m. They enjoyed that they were working hard at an early time in the day. And so these difficult things, it's not that you don't mind suffering for it. It's that the suffering almost becomes something that you don't see as suffering. It's more of something that's rewarding. The cost-reward ratio is out of balance for you. It rewards you more than it costs you. And to others, it would cost them more than it rewards you. So something that you can find the little enjoyments from, and that doesn't burden you as much as it burdens others. All right, and now going back to question 1, all those things that you like, I want you to circle all the things that you think you're good at. And then once you've done that, and now filter out the things that you think you can't get paid for. Some people say that you should choose something that you're good at. I think you can choose of the things that you like doing, anything that you want to work towards and improve on. But I do think there is a bit of validity in saying that you should choose something that you are good at. But all the things that you look at and that you like, you can be good at whichever one you want to invest the most amount of time in and work towards. So don't let that limit you, but it can be a consideration. I think choosing a career is a very, very dynamic decision. I think who you are changes from year to year, from 5-year block to 5-year block. And I think you shouldn't put too much pressure on yourself to have a career that you have to stick to and this is it for the next, 20 to 40 years. You don't have to. But I want this video to mainly be something that just helps clarify what exactly you want out of life. It can be very vague what you want out of life, that's okay. But as long as you have a general feeling of, I like red or I like blue. I like working with people or I don't like working with people. I like maths and I hate English. I like English and I hate maths. Just a general feeling of where it is to go. Because then that helps you reverse engineer the steps required to go towards that thing. You get this feeling of having a purpose. And when you're working towards something on a day-by-day basis, that's when your self-esteem and your value as who you are really bolsters because you feel driven and you feel purposeful in your day-to-day. All right, I hope I didn't preach and lecture you too much in this video. If you liked it, please do consider subscribing. It helps support the channel grow and hopefully reach more people who maybe need the help or the advice. Thanks very much, you kings and queens, and see you later. Bye.